Well, it's not shaping up to be the season Fury fans were hoping for. The year started off with some excitement as the team switched from the North American Soccer League to the USL, the United Soccer League. But after 23 games, the team has only won 7, losing 9 and tying 7. It all came to a head 10 days ago when the team suddenly announced its head coach, Paul Dalglish, was leaving immediately for personal reasons. Since then, the Fury played a few road games, but they're back in front of the home crowd at TD Place Sunday at 2 o'clock when they host the New York Red Bulls 2. For their thoughts on where the Fury stand, we've assembled a fan panel. John Eden is a longtime supporter, as is Martin Burtt. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And Martin's even got his scarf because it is a chilly morning.
Chilly morning.
So he's got his Fury scarf around his neck here. Let's start with the sudden coaching change. Martin, did you see this coming?
I didn't see it coming, no. I actually spoke to Paul Dalglish at a coaches panel the team put on the week before, and there was no sign that he was leaving anytime soon, and so it certainly came out of the blue when the news was announced.
Did you offer him any advice?
I didn't, no. If I'd known he was leaving, I might have.
How about for you, John?
Yeah, I was actually worried that he would stick around until the end of his contract, and I was quite relieved to hear that
Really?
he was let go, because unfortunately he just never managed to deliver the promises that he had made to the fans. He promised an attractive style of football, a successful team, and that never happened.
Martin, how do you feel about his reign?
I agree. I think he certainly came in promising a lot. He promised, as John said, attractive soccer, and he seemed to suggest that the previous reaching the semifinal, or the final rather, in the previous season was not good enough, and he would do better. And he never delivered on that.
So what was the problem? Was it him, the players? Because I heard things about not enough money spent on players.
I think certainly he had challenges when he first arrived with the weakening Canadian dollar and successful players from the season before that were getting good offers from other teams to move elsewhere. So that he certainly started off on the back foot. But this team this year, he had the time to put that team together, and I think they are a better team than their record shows.
Do you agree, John?
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
What do you think then, John, of the decision to name Julian de Guzman as coach?
Oh, I'm very excited about that. He's one of or probably the most decorated Canadian player of all times. He's played in La Liga. He's played in the Bundesliga. He was the national team captain. And so he brings a lot of experience, and he's clearly very eager and ambitious to start coaching. And I think this is a great opportunity for him, and I hope he's going to do well.
But great players don't necessarily make great coaches. We've seen a lot of examples of that.
Well, Paul Dalglish's father, Kenny Dalglish, was a very good player, and he was a great coach. So hopefully Julian de Guzman will follow suit.
How is he viewed by the fans?
Oh, they all love him. The Canadian Goose is what we call him.
And Martin, what do you think about the selection? Do you think it's just holding us to the end of the season, or has he got a chance to carry on as coach next year as well?
I hope he's got the chance to win the job. I think he's got a tough schedule and a tough ask to be successful and get them to the playoffs over the next couple of months of the season. But I think it's his job to lose, and if he can get some success and show that he's motivating the players, I think he'll have a shot.
What about his coaching style on the field, John? What does it mean for what we're going to see as far as action?
So according to the Fury president, John Pugh, we're not going to see that many changes at the beginning, just because it takes time to change the approach of the team. But I'm hoping it'll just be a little bit more organized and more consistent.
Well, I mean, but if Paul Dalglish was promising exciting football, and you're saying we didn't really get it, we got more disorganized football, is how you classify it?
Disorganized, and also I think I think what fans didn't like was he reverted to more of a long ball style of hoof the ball up the field and hope you win it back and score, and it's not attractive to watch, and the fans are looking for something a little bit more sophisticated than that. And I think there are a few signs that perhaps under de Guzman they will try to play that more attractive style.
So how has all of this affected fans in the stands, Martin?
I think there's a hardcore group of fans that are there every single game, and I think we're learning to understand how second-tier soccer works. We just want to see a team that can compete, and I think de Guzman has a lot of, as John said, credit with the fans, and we're hopeful.
And those supporter groups, they were moved. The Bytown Boys, the Stony Monday Riot, they were moved to bleachers behind one of the nets. They're not in the stands with the other fans. John, you're among those fans there.
Yeah, I'm definitely with the hardcore supporters.
How has that transition been?
There's some positives and some negatives. One of the positives is that it has brought the two supporter groups, so the Stony Monday Riot and the Bytown Boys, closer together. Used to be a little bit more segregated with one group in the front and one group in the back, and now we're sort of forced to stand together. So that's been great. We also have a little beer stand right next to us now, which is nice. Some of the negatives are we're a little bit disconnected from the rest of the stadium. And we have seen dwindling numbers in the section, and we think it's because where it used to be the case that people would join us as the game goes on because it was just, walk over to the next section. Now it's like a long way to go, so it's a bit of a barrier there. Also, amenities are kind of far away. So that's an issue.
The downside of the beer tent, yes. Finally, just to end on this, because we had the switch of leagues, and you kind of alluded to it, Martin, a little bit. This Tier 2, this switch to the USL. Has it been good or bad for the team? John?
Personally, I was a bigger fan of the NASL. I'm a football romantic, and they try to take more of a European approach, and they're also more like rebellish, I would say, whereas the USL has MLS reserve teams. They're a little bit more plastic. They're all about appearance and social media and so on. And, the biggest goal in the USL seems to be to get an MLS team one day.
But it may not even last long. You've got some information that we may be switching leagues.
Yes.
Again.
Yeah, that's if the Canadian Premier League does come to fruition. This is a new project by the Canadian Soccer Association. So far, two teams are known, Winnipeg and Hamilton, with Halifax being in the works. And the plan is to have our own league so that we no longer have to play in an American league, and we can design it to develop our players the way that we want to.
We'll keep our eyes open for that one as well. Enjoy the game Sunday.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
John Eden and Martin Burtt are both longtime fans of the Ottawa Fury. The team takes on the New York Red Bulls 2 on Sunday at 2 o'clock at TD Place.